In this video, I'm going to go over using the temperature logger to DataStream upload app. In this video, I'm going to go over launching and opening the app, how to put in input and run the app, a very quick look at how we can upload the CSV file this app creates to DataStream, and then what to do if the app crashes. So to open the app, we just need to go into the folder that the app lives in, and double-click on that app.r file. This should open up an RStudio window. And like I've mentioned before, if you haven't installed those required packages, just check out my previous video or refer to the Getting Started instructions or the instructions for this app specifically. So to run the app, we simply just press the Run App button at the top here. And it should pop up in a new window. And when the app pops up, it can either be in this kind of larger format, or depending on how big the window that the app opens up in is, it might be kind of smushed to the side here. So the next step is to upload our Excel file containing our temperature logger data. The file needs to be in a very specific format, which is covered in the next part of this video, and also in the accompanying instruction document. I just want to highlight the Excel format here. So the first column is the observation number. The second column is the date and time in this format, so it's year, month, day, separated by dashes, and then 24-hour time, hours, minutes, seconds, and then obviously the temperature reading in the third column here. It's really important that your Excel sheet is in this format, otherwise the app will not work. The header names here don't really matter, just as long as the first line here has some sort of title and the columns follow that first column, observation number, second column, date and time in one cell, and third column, the temperature reading. A lot of temperature loggers will actually upload data in this format. However, if you notice that your temperature logger data isn't in this format, I would check your upload software. There's usually a lot of options for how you would like the data to be uploaded. One last thing I'd like to point out about the Excel files here is that you can only have one location per Excel file. So if your temperature logger upload software happens to produce an Excel sheet with multiple locations on the same Excel file, you just need to rearrange that and save only one location per file. You can have as many date ranges as you'd like for that location, just as long as it's a single location per file. So I'm going to go and select a file I made just with some random temperature data. And down here, I'm going to select whether I want to create a new CSV file to upload to DataStream or append to an existing one. So the append function here is useful for just having one CSV to upload to DataStream. It makes the upload process a little bit easier. So you can just keep adding different locations to the same CSV file. We'll just add to the bottom. One caution though is that if you hit create new and you have a CSV name already selected here that exists in your computer, it will overwrite that CSV. So you might lose some data that way. So always make sure that if you're creating a new CSV file, you want to make sure you change the name so it doesn't delete any data. And another note, you can only have one data set per upload CSV to DataStream, so just keep that in mind when you are appending to an existing CSV file. So I'm just going to name what I want the output CSV to be called. So I'm just going to call it my output. And next is the metadata. So for those of you who are familiar with DataStream, this should be old news to you. If you are just starting with DataStream or don't even have a data set created yet, I would recommend that you go to the DataStream website and check out their resources page, just so you can get a hang of what these values are. They're really the backbone of how DataStream works and how it can have sort of that nice data sharing online. So I'm just going to create some fake metadata here, just for the purposes of this demonstration. And also, if you're familiar with the DataStream format, some values can only come from a list of allowed values, and these drop-down menus contain all of the values there. And this is just another warning here, create a new CSV is selected, so if I have a CSV with the same name, it might overwrite that. And below is some optional metadata, so this is everything that's not required by DataStream that you might have. So when I hit run there, this will happen pretty much instantaneously because the data I created is pretty short. You'll get a loading message down here where this green done message is, and it will appear kind of at the top if you have this smushed layout here. So if I go back into the file that has the app in it, you'll see that I have that my output CSV there, and this placeholder here, we can ignore that or delete it when we're done. And if you open the output CSV, you'll see that it's in DataStream format, and this can be directly dragged and dropped onto DataStream to upload. One thing, you can't run the program while the CSV is open, so if you ever check your data during this process, just make sure you close the Excel sheet. And so to run this again, all you have to do is add a new file and upload the metadata. So I'm going to do that for one more. I'm going to use this number 2 one I made. And down here, I'm going to change the create new to append. And I want to keep that name the same, so it appends to the same CSV file. And the dataset name stays the same. And just really the location metadata is changing. Again, and maybe this one is a river and not a lake. And I'm just going to hit run again. I scroll down, I see I have this green done message. It's not loading at all, it's already finished. And then if I go back to that folder that has the output, and I scroll down a bit, I'm able to see that right around here, it's added that second location to the bottom of the existing CSV. And so you would just repeat that for all the locations that you have, making sure to be careful of this create new and append here, and making sure that you're taking time to ensure that your metadata is correct. I just want to briefly demonstrate how we can upload the CSV file we just made directly into DataStream. So right now I'm in the upload step of the DataStream upload process. If this is your first time using DataStream or you don't really know what's happening here, I would encourage you to check out the resources page of the DataStream website. They have lots of resources for getting started and how to create a dataset and a DataStream account. So there's that my output CSV file that we created. I'm just going to simply grab that and drag it into the box here. And then I'm going to upload it. And once the data is done loading there, we can get this preview dataset option. Please note, for large datasets, this process can take quite a bit of time, so just make sure you leave this window open and your computer doesn't shut down. So I'm going to click preview dataset here. And just while the graph is loading there, we can see that location 1 and location 2 we created there. And we can see a graph of the data, and this graph looks all over the place, but it makes sense to me because I just created some random variables for temperature. So we can tell visually that the app worked and that our conversion was successful. Lastly, I'm just going to go over what happens when the app crashes. So I'm just going to make the app crash here by trying to run it with no data. Notice when I hit run, the app immediately closes. That means something's gone wrong. So even though the app is closed, R is still actually running in the background. And we can tell this by that little stop sign here. Whenever the stop sign's there, it means that R is still running. So before we reload the app, we just want to make sure we click that stop sign to stop R. If you try to reload the app while R is still running, some funky stuff might happen. So it's best to always make sure that we stop R before we start to reload the app. And a warning message will also be displayed here that kind of tries to tell you why the app crashed. Sometimes these can be a bit cryptic. We've included a troubleshooting section in the accompanying instruction documents for this app to kind of help you folks out if you do encounter some crashes. I hope this video was helpful. Thanks for watching.